Welcome back to Severe MMA, and I'm delighted to be joined once again by Manchester's own Brendan Loughnane as he takes a healthy sip out of a bottle of water there.
Oh, God, I needed that. Thank you, mate. Great to be back.
How are you doing?
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. As you know, just finished a great roast. So, yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
waiting.
yeah, essential staple for a Sunday diet.
There we go. Come on.
Yeah. So obviously the big news is around kind of the PFL situation right now, and we'll get to that. But first of all, so I suppose, how are you doing? You spent a lot of time in Thailand recently. I know you came back to Manchester. So when did you get back?
I've been back 10 days, 2 weeks now, around that time. But it's good to be back. It's good to see family and friends. Obviously, a bit gutted that I'm not competing and everybody else kind of get going now. So I'm sure we'll get into that.
I'm sure we will. And how was your time in Thailand overall? You enjoyed it overall?
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely love it. Can't wait to go back.
Yeah. And so, well, I suppose we'll dive straight into it. The big news, I suppose, this week for yourself, aside from all that was going on at Fight Island and everything like that, was there was a news article came out from Brett Okamoto at ESPN with a dispute between the PFL and Lance Palmer. Now, that dispute was kind of twofold in that it was in relation to a social media post that Palmer's dad had put out there, and there was a bit of a dispute there that the PFL took issue with. However, what was revealed in the article was that Lance Palmer had been at odds with the PFL for the past number of weeks or months, and in that he disclosed that he had turned down the compensation that was offered to fighters, and was just unhappy with the whole situation that he wasn't getting matched up. That then led to yourself and your manager Malky Cow coming out and kind of speaking on it. So, in your own words, what's been going on?
Well, you just hit the nail on the head with everything, really. This is not news to me. I've been, ever since everybody started get going again after COVID, and then I got told I'm not going to fight till next June. I was like, come on, I'm at the stage of my career now. I'm 30 years old, and if I'm going to go for it, it's now. I'm not 21 anymore, and I just can't afford 18 months out of competition right now, financially, and my competitive edge. Like, I don't want to be getting rusty after 18 months, and I just, at this stage, listen. It was sold to me 5 fights this year, back to back, $1 million at the end of it, and that was music to my ears, as it would be to anyone's. And it's just not turned out like that, and it's not the PFL's fault. And the 2 fights that I did have for him was amazing. Best promotion I've ever fought for. Was so excited for this year, for everything that come with it. And it's just very unfortunate with COVID. But, I mean, everybody's going again. The world's back to normal. I need to fight. And I don't know what's going to happen from here on out, to be honest.
And if we maybe jump back to, say, a couple of months ago when we last spoke, that was when it was just had been revealed that the PFL were going to pay their fighters a monthly stipend because of coronavirus, because of the inactivity. At the time, were you happy with that, looking back?
I never accepted the stipend at any point. Couple of reasons. One, I didn't really need it. I did well off PFL last year, and I thought, I'm not just going to take the handout kind of thing. I don't really need it. And 2, it was like, I want to be active. This is $1,000 a month for 5 months. That works out, what, $5,000? What's that in pound? £4,000 for 2. I don't know how does that keep you afloat for 18 months? It just doesn't. No matter where you live in the world, you can't eat on that. So it's like massive thank you for putting it out there. But I signed for competition. I signed to fight. I'm a fighter. I'm a professional athlete. This is what I do. Every other promotion's up and running. Brave, UFC, Bellator has got back up. Abu Dhabi Warriors, like Cage Warriors are starting again. Like, everybody's got dates going, and that's all I want to do is fight. Honest to God, I don't even care about the money too much. Like, the thing that matters to me is I'm 30. I've probably got another 4 years at this level, and I want to make the most out of them 4 years. And 18 months is a hell of a long time right now.
Yeah, and so back then it had been announced that they were postponing the 2020 season. They were going to come back in spring 2021, and at that point, that's when the stipends were offered. If you had taken that stipend, would that have meant you would have been tied into a contract with PFL still? And was there anything in the contract around when they had to offer you at your next fight by?
Listen, I can't say too much because I don't really know what's going on. This is all from my manager, so all I can tell you is what's been offered to me is a stipend. It's $1,000 a month, and although I'm massively appreciative of it, I'm much more appreciative of getting offered fights. And right now, spring 2021 is a long time away. It's a very long time away, and yeah, watching UFC do 3 shows a week right now, I'm like, wow, these guys are doing a great job. Yeah, it's like I'm fit, I'm healthy. I've just been in camp in Thailand for 6 months, like sparring Peter Yan, sparring Rafael Faziev, like getting all them ready for their fights. You know, it's my slice of the pie. It's my time. I can't be sitting around waiting for another year. It just can't happen. So hopefully something gets figured out between me and PFL where everybody's happy and Malky. But right now, I don't know. And I could really relate to what Lance Palmer said. I've kept my mouth shut about everything. I've just been like, right, let's see what happens. And Lance Palmer just came right out of it. And I was like, shit. And I know it's not just Lance Palmer. I know there's a lot of fighters that are thinking the same as me right now. So love Peter Murray, love the PFL. I just want to fight. Let's hope they can get fights going and maybe just put on some shows where it just keeps us active, or let us go and fight on other shows to stay active. And I'll quite happily say I'm very, very happy at PFL, and that's the truth. So let's see what comes of it.
Yeah, and by all accounts, it sounds like from the way you're speaking now and from everything on social media that you want to come to a resolution that benefits both the fighters and PFL. And you're not looking to jump ship or anything like that. You just want to fight. It's the activity that matters to you. Has there been any discussion around the PFL coming back with a show? As you said, there are many shows running as it stands right now. There are shows, for example, local shows in Ireland right now announcing for, say, October, November. And yet the PFL haven't at least yet announced a show until the next one, which is the season, which hasn't even been announced really in spring 2021. So has there been any conversation of when they might be back?
I've not heard of any. The last thing I heard was spring 2021, like yourself. You know as much as me. And listen, PFL are quite a new promotion, and you know they're probably having teething problems. They're not as established as the UFC and can't throw as much money as UFC. I don't know what it is, but you know, the world's back in order now. It really is, though, isn't it? Everyone's back to work. We're kind of on the other side of this pandemic now, and it just seems pretty sad that everybody else is going back to work, and I'm kind of sat here on the fence. And 18 months out is a hell of a long time for any job in the world, not just a fighter. 18 months is like, you know, you get rusty. Of course you do. And you're doing hard training. Your body's getting beat up. Like, I've took a year out before, not on purpose, but just couldn't get fights, and it was terrible. And you know, I signed up to this for activity. That was the main thing. It wasn't money. It was they were going to keep me 5 fights a year. 5 fights a year. You're lucky if you get 2 or 3 in the UFC or Bellator or, you know, these ones. So the thought of 5 really lit up a spark in my head. I thought, wow, I can finally get active at world level, very active. And yeah.
Does it feel like they're limiting your potential to become, say, a world champion by putting you on the sidelines essentially during the prime of your career?
Not really, because everybody else at PFL's in the same boat right now. This isn't just me. I don't know how many fighters they have signed, but you know, I could just really relate to what Lance Palmer said. And listen, Lance Palmer's in a much different position to me. Lance Palmer sat on $2 million. I'll quite happily take a year out with $2 million. So Lance, I don't know why Lance is complaining so much. Do you know what I mean? Like, I barely bit into the PFL and barely got my hands in there. This guy's in there making millions. I would quite happily sit with my feet up on a beach in Jamaica, not a problem, and wait for the next tournament.
And are you tied in now? So there sounds like there's no from what I've heard and seen, there's been no movement on a date yet. So are you, as it stands right now, tied into a contract with the PFL where you can't go and fight it for another promotion?
Pretty much, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. And is that, I'm assuming, well, it'll all play out, but that's what Malky's kind of tweeting about and saying that maybe legal action may need to be taken at this point.
And it's a shame. Listen, PFL don't deserve this. They don't. They're such a great promotion, and it's just really sad that this has come around, because I love fighting for them. I love all the back staff, the owner, everyone that's involved in that company are great people. And I just hope that this all gets figured out and then we get everybody active. And I think we will. I really do think this will all get sorted out. I think it could have been blown out of proportion really before it should have. Like, I wasn't going to say anything at all. And then, you know, when I see Lance's frustrations, and I know there's a couple of other fighters that I spoke to that are very frustrated. So now that it's gone public, the cat's kind of out of the bag.
And what would be your ideal scenario, your ideal resolution here, as it stands, the way it's playing out? Like, what would you
I'd
want
love
to
to.
say? Sign for another promotion? Do you want to just go for a one fight deal somewhere else and come back, or do you, or if the PFL can't put on shows?
I would love to fight twice this year. If it's PFL or for anyone else, do the tournament next year like planned, and get the 5 fights back to back off. But to put somebody on the sideline for so, I didn't fight since last year. We're now in July. That means I'm waiting another year from now, and it's like I'm fight ready. I'm in my prime of my life. I'm 30 years old. I've suffered from inactivity my whole career. I signed to this promotion specifically for activity, and it's like I don't deserve this. And you know, after the whole thing with the Dana White thing, and my luck was short there, to going into something like this now, I'm thinking, catch a break, will you, bro? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Does it get any easier? I suppose you're someone who's overcome adversity many times in your career through many different forms. Does it get easier as it goes on when these hurdles keep
Yeah.
presenting themselves to you?
13 years I've been fighting. 13 years, and you know, all over the world, all different promotions, ups, downs, you know, some great success, some very razor thin decisions have not gone my way, some fucking vital moments of my career. Then the Dana White thing, then it was like, right, Bren, you're going to be a millionaire and a world champion this year. And then it was all of a sudden, nope, no, you're not. You're not going to do anything this year. You're going to sit on your ass till next year somewhere. And it's like, fuck. And usually I'm very quiet about these things, but fucking hell, it's getting to the point where I'm like, I can't be anymore. I've got to just be calling out people and be like, let's fucking fight anyone. You know what I mean? That's
And
kind of what
have
I'm
you
at.
been paying attention? Have you been watching a lot of the Fight Island shows, or there's been obviously a good bit of MMA
Brilliant,
back now? Any
brilliant.
standout performers that you'd like to get stuck in a cage with, perhaps, if you were given a one fight contract release?
But it's sad, really, because I can't even call no one out in the UFC. UFC is not my promotion, so this is just pretty irrelevant even
But I
calling
mean,
anybody.
if you were to get the resolution that you want, you would probably have to go to another promotion. Maybe not the UFC, maybe Bellator, or maybe anyone. Is there anyone in the featherweight divisions that you have been kind of noticing or would like to face?
I mean, no, I think the PFL will sort it out. I honestly do. They've got great backing. They're very smart businessmen that own that promotion. They're not just going to let everybody. You know, you can't. It's too public now. Everybody knows what's going on. Like, they're not just going to leave this. They can't leave it now. So you
Their
know, I
hand is
really do.
essentially forced.
It really is. It's like put up or let us go. That's really all that can happen. And like I say, if I just won $2 million, you won't be having this conversation with me. Put it that way. Very different for some people in this promotion, but for someone like me who's not made that, well, even Rory and all these guys, they've had great careers and made huge amounts of money, like world champions and great success. With me, I've been. This is my story's not over yet. My chapter's not written.
Do you think people
This was my
forget
year.
that when we look at, say, fighters in there, you look at the likes of, say, Rory McDonald or Lance Palmer, and they're getting paid well, whereas the likes of yourself, who you've been around for years and years, and people know you and respect you as a fighter. But do people sometimes forget that you're not in the same financial situation that others are?
Absolutely nowhere near. They're absolutely nowhere near them guys' financial situations. And 13 years of hard work and dedication. My dues, it's time for my dues. Do you know what I mean? Tough fights all over the world, all different promotions, and finally got my break this year. This, like, you know what I mean? And I flew through my first 2 fights there. Everything was going great. Camp was going great in Thailand, and then this. But nobody foreseen this coming. Don't blame anybody for this. Not PFL, not myself, not no one. But okay, we're on the other side of it. We all need a resolution here, everybody. And I do want to. I'm very happy with PFL. I can't state that enough. So let's just
Yeah.
hope that we put shows on this year, and this conversation was irrelevant.
You
Maybe that's what's
just
going to
want to fight soon, and fight for the PFL.
There we go.
There you go.
Simple.
I won't take much more of your time, and I appreciate it, Brendan. Obviously, you said you were watching the Fight Island show, so let's forget about who you'd want to fight. There was a lot of fighters from the UK and Ireland kind of making their name and cutting their teeth in the UFC. Maybe some just making their debut, some a few fights in. Did you watch many of those fights, or is there anyone who kind of stood out for you as a top performer?
Brilliant performances from all the UK guys. Even watching Darren Till last night, that guy, yeah, fuck, Masvidal, Tyrone Woodley, Kelvin Gastelum, fucking Robert Whittaker. Look at that for a road. Fair play to you,
Doesn't shy
Darren.
away from our hard fight.
Massive fan, massive respect to you. All the young up and coming lads. Jack Shaw, first time I've ever seen him fight, amazing fighter. brilliant, brilliant from all the UK fighters, and well done to Dana White for making this shit happen during this time. Amazing job. It looked great.
Brendan, I really, really appreciate your time. I'll let you get home from your Sunday roast now. But again, I really hope that there can be a resolution here. I think everyone would like to see it back in their fight soon, and that's all you seem to be asking for. Fight cards are popping up now, and other promotions are able to do it. So hopefully the PFL can get things sorted and get a card on soon, and you guys can get back to earning money and fighting and staying active.
You're a legend. Thank you very much for your time, mate. Appreciate it.
Cheers. Thank you, Brendan. Appreciate the time.
Take care. Thank
All
you,
the
my man.
best.